Daddy, look at all the watermelons. Emma Hayes, 5 years old, pigtails bouncing, pointed excitedly at the produce display through the automatic doors of the Target in Oceanside, California. It was Saturday afternoon, the kind of perfect Southern California day where the sun felt like a blessing instead of a burden. "We'll get one, sweetheart," Michael Hayes said, guiding the red shopping cart with one hand, holding his daughter's small hand with the other. He wore a faded gray t-shirt, jeans that had seen better days, and the kind of relaxed expression that comes from a man who's finally learned to enjoy the simple things. Michael was 42, fit but not obviously so, the kind of build that hides under normal clothes. His dark hair was starting to gray at the temples, and his face carried the weathered look of someone who'd spent years in the sun and salt. To anyone passing by, he was just another dad doing weekend shopping with his kid. Nobody would guess he'd spent 15 years as a Navy SEAL. Commander Michael Hayes, retired. SEAL Team 3, then DevGru, 3 deployments to Afghanistan, 2 to Iraq, countless classified operations that would never make it into any official record. He'd left the service 2 years ago after his wife Sarah died from cancer, deciding that Emma needed a full-time parent more than the Navy needed another operator. Now he worked as a consultant for a defense contractor. Quiet job, good pay, home every night for dinner. Normal life, finally. They finished shopping in 30 minutes, groceries, some clothes for Emma, a new bike helmet because she was growing like a weed. Michael loaded the bags into the cart, and they walked out into the parking lot, Emma skipping beside him, humming a song from the Disney movie they'd watched last night. That's when he heard it. "Come on, don't be like that. We just want to talk." The voice came from 3 rows over, near a white Honda Civic. Michael's head turned automatically, a reflex he'd never lost. Threat assessment. Always. A young woman, maybe 25, stood with her back against her car. 3 men surrounded her in a loose semicircle. They weren't touching her, not yet, but the body language was clear. This wasn't a conversation. This was a trap closing. The woman clutched her purse against her chest. "I said no. Please, leave me alone." "Aw, don't be rude." The tallest of the 3, maybe 6'2", built like someone who spent a lot of time in the gym but never in a fight, stepped closer. "Your boyfriend doesn't need to know." Michael stopped walking. His hand tightened on the shopping cart handle. Emma felt it immediately. She looked up at her father, then followed his gaze across the parking lot. "Daddy, those men are being mean to that lady." "I know, baby. Shouldn't we help?" And there it was, the question that split his world in two. The old Michael the operator, the weapon, the man who'd kicked in doors in Fallujah and Helmand Province said, "Yes, absolutely, handle it." The new Michael, the father, the civilian, the man who just wanted to grill burgers and watch his daughter grow up, said, "No, don't get involved. Call the police. Protect your kid." "Daddy?" He looked down at Emma. Her wide brown eyes, Sarah's eyes, looked up at him with complete trust. She believed he could fix anything, and maybe that was the problem. Or maybe that was exactly why he had to. "Stay right here with the cart," he said quietly. "Don't move. Are you going to help her?" "Yes." "Like a superhero?" Michael smiled despite himself. "Something like that. Stay here." He walked across the parking lot with measured steps. Not fast, not slow. The kind of walk that covers ground efficiently without broadcasting aggression. As he got closer, he sized up the situation with practiced efficiency. 3 males, late 20s, early 30s. The tall one was the alpha gym muscles, designer sneakers. Probably thought he was tough because he'd never met anyone who actually was. The second was shorter, stocky, wearing a Raiders jersey follower personality, would back down if the alpha did. The third hung back slightly, skinny, nervous energy, probably the one who'd talked the others into this. None of them were armed. Michael could tell from their posture, their waistbands, the way they moved. That was good, made this simpler. He was 10 feet away when they noticed him. "Hey man," Michael said, his voice calm and neutral. "Everything okay here?" The tall one turned, annoyed at the interruption. We're good, dude. Private conversation. Doesn't look private. Michael glanced at the woman. Ma'am, you okay? Her eyes locked onto his like a lifeline. No. I asked them to leave me alone. There you go. Michael looked back at the three men. Lady wants to be left alone. Time to move on, fellas. The tall one laughed, that particular laugh that young men use when they're trying to establish dominance. Or what, old man? You gonna do something about it? Old man. Michael almost smiled. He'd been called worse by people far scarier than this gym rat. I'm asking politely, Michael said. Walk away. Nothing bad happens. Everybody goes home. Yeah? The stocky one in the Raiders jersey stepped forward. What if we don't feel like it? Michael sighed. He'd given them the chance. Multiple chances, actually. What happened next was on them. Then we have a problem. From 30 feet away, Emma watched, with her small hands gripping the shopping cart. Daddy, she whispered to herself. The tall one moved first. He threw a wide, telegraphed right hook, the kind of punch that works great in bar fights against drunk civilians who don't see it coming. Michael wasn't drunk, and he saw everything. He slipped the punch with minimal movement, letting it pass over his left shoulder, and drove his right elbow into the man's solar plexus. Not full power didn't need to be. Just enough to empty his lungs and fold him forward. 2.5 seconds. The stocky one in the Raiders jersey charged in, trying to tackle Michael around the waist. Wrong move. Michael sprawled his hips back, dropped his weight, and brought his forearm down across the back of the man's neck in a precise strike that sent him face first into the asphalt. 4.1 seconds. The skinny one, the smart one, started to back away, but his friends were down and his pride wouldn't let him run. He threw a wild overhand right. Michael caught the wrist, rotated it in a smooth joint lock that brought the man to his knees, and swept his legs out from under him with a simple trip. 6.8 seconds. Three men. Less than 7 seconds. Michael didn't break a sweat. He stood over them as they groaned and clutched various injured body parts, his expression unchanged. Stay down. Don't make me repeat myself. The parking lot had gone silent. Maybe 20 people had stopped to watch. Phones were out, recording. Someone had called 911. Michael could hear the sirens already, still distant but coming closer. He walked over to the young woman, who stood frozen against her car, eyes wide. You're okay now, he said gently. Police are coming. You'll want to give them a statement. Thank you, she managed. Thank you so much. I didn't know what to do. They wouldn't leave. I was so scared. It's okay. You're safe. Michael turned and walked back toward Emma, who was still standing by the shopping cart, exactly where he'd told her to stay. The crowd parted as he walked. People stared. A few whispered. Someone said, "Did you see that?" He dropped all three of them like it was nothing. Emma ran to him as he approached, wrapping her small arms around his leg. "Daddy, you saved her." "I did what needed doing, sweetheart." "Were you scared?" Michael knelt down to her level. "No, baby, but that doesn't mean it was fun. Sometimes protecting people means doing hard things, understand?" She nodded solemnly, then broke into a smile. "You were like Captain America." He laughed. "Not quite. Come on, let's—" Nobody move. 2 Oceanside police cruisers pulled into the parking lot, lights flashing. 4 officers jumped out, hands on their weapons. Michael straightened slowly, hands visible, palms open. "Officers, I'm the one who intervened. Those 3 men were harassing that woman." He pointed to the young woman by the Honda. "And they attacked me when I asked them to leave. Multiple witnesses." "Sir, step away from the child. This is my daughter." The lead officer, a veteran cop with gray in his beard, approached carefully. His nameplate read Martinez. He looked at Michael, then at the 3 men still on the ground, then at the crowd of people holding up phones. "Anyone got video?" Martinez called out. "I do," 3 people answered simultaneously. Martinez nodded slowly. He'd been doing this long enough to read a situation. "Sir, you former military?" "Navy." retired. Uh-huh. Martinez glanced at the three men, one of whom was vomiting from the solar plexus strike. You do that with your bare hands? Yes, sir. Any weapons? No, sir. Martinez almost smiled. Yeah, you're Navy all right. Stand by. We'll need a statement. The next 20 minutes were a blur of questions, statements from witnesses, and paramedics checking the three attackers for injuries. None were serious. Michael had been precise. Bruised ribs, a sprained wrist, wounded pride. Emma sat on the curb, swinging her legs, eating an ice cream sandwich that one of the Target employees had brought her. That's when the black SUV arrived. It wasn't a police vehicle. It was a civilian vehicle, but it moved with the kind of authority that made people notice. Tinted windows, government plates. The SUV parked, and the driver's door opened. A man stepped out in full Navy dress, whites. Not just any uniform. Admiral stars, 4 of them, gold braids, rows of ribbons that told a story of decades of service. Rear Admiral James Strickland, Commander, Naval Special Warfare Command. Michael's former boss. Officer Martinez turned. Sir, this is an active scene. I'm aware, officer. Strickland's voice carried the weight of command. I'm here for Commander Hayes. Martinez looked confused. Commander? Strickland walked straight to Michael, who was still standing by the shopping cart. For a moment, the two men just looked at each other. Then Strickland came to attention and saluted. Michael, caught off guard, returned the salute automatically. Even retired, even in civilian clothes, even in a Target parking lot, muscle memory. Admiral, Michael said quietly, what are you doing here? Someone sent me the video. Strickland gestured to the crowd still recording. It's already going viral, Mike. Mystery man defeats 3 attackers in 7 seconds. Naval Special Warfare social media folks flagged it. I recognized you immediately. I just wanted to buy groceries. I know. Strickland's expression softened. But you're still you, Mike. You see a threat, you handle it. That's why you were one of the best operators I ever commanded. The crowd was murmuring now, connecting dots. SEAL, Admiral, Commander. Officer Martinez stepped forward. Sir, you're saying this man is Commander Michael Hayes, Navy SEALs, retired, Strickland said formally. 15 years of service, multiple combat deployments, Silver Star, 3 Bronze Stars with Valor, Purple Heart, one of the most decorated operators in DEVGRU history. The parking lot went completely silent. Emma, still sitting on the curb, perked up. Daddy has medals? Strickland knelt down to Emma's level, his stern admiral's face transforming into a warm smile. Your daddy has lots of medals, sweetheart. He's a real hero. I know, Emma said matter-of-factly. He saves people. Like today. Just like today. Strickland stood and looked back at Michael. Mike, I know you're done with the service. I respect that. But the community hasn't forgotten you. And after today, he gestured to the crowd. The phones, the viral moment happening in real time. The world's going to remember too. Michael looked at his daughter, sitting there with ice cream on her face, looking up at him with pure love and pride. I don't need the world to remember, sir, Michael said quietly. I just need her to know her dad will always protect her, and anyone else who needs it. Strickland nodded. That's exactly what I expected you'd say. The Admiral shook Michael's hand, saluted one more time, and returned to his SUV. As he drove away, Officer Martinez approached with a clipboard. Mr. Hayes, sorry. Commander Hayes, you're free to go. Clear case of defense of another. The woman you helped wants your contact info to thank you, but I told her we'd ask you first. Tell her she's welcome. No contact necessary. Understood. Martinez hesitated. Sir, thank you for your service, and for today. Just doing what's right, officer. Michael took Emma's hand, and they walked back to their car. As he loaded the groceries into the trunk, Emma tugged on his shirt. Daddy? Yeah, baby? Can we still get a watermelon? Michael laughed, really laughed, the tension finally breaking. Yeah, sweetheart, Let's go get that watermelon. The video hit 10 million views in 48 hours. Navy SEAL Dad defeats 3 attackers to save woman was trending across every platform. The news picked it up. Local stations, then national, then international. Michael ignored all of it. He did accept one thing, though. A handwritten thank you note from the young woman he'd helped, whose name was Jessica. She'd been on her way home from work when the 3 men cornered her. She wrote that she'd been frozen with fear, certain something terrible was about to happen, until an angel in a gray t-shirt appeared. Michael kept the note in his wallet. 3 months later, Michael got a call from the principal at Emma's school. Could he come speak to the students about courage, service, and doing what's right? He said yes. Standing in front of 200 elementary school kids, Emma sitting in the front row beaming with pride, Michael told them the truth. Heroes aren't people with superpowers. Heroes are people who see someone who needs help and decide to help. It's that simple. You don't need to be strong. You don't need special training. You just need to care, and then do something about it. And in the front row, Emma raised her hand. Yes, sweetheart? Daddy, will you teach me how to help people too? Michael smiled. Every single day, baby. Every single day. If this story reminded you that real heroes wear t-shirts and shop at Target, hit subscribe. Because courage is a choice, not a costume.